All right, yeah, number 4, and we've got ourselves
Special guest.
What is happening, guys? Nice to be here. You've done 3 episodes without me. Late notice.
Mr. Lorenzo. It was 2 broke brokers, and now we found someone who's not quite broke.
Well, we need to rebrand. 2 broke brokers and someone that's doing alright.
Someone that's not so broke, yeah.
And the other guy.
And the other guy, I'll take that.
So we thought we'll recap briefly on what we spoke about last week, if that's alright, and then we'll introduce you, Lorenzo, and then you can take it away with your story.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So, what did we talk about last week? We
covered quite a few topics. We went on a few rants.
There were a couple of tangents in there, yeah.
We gave a talk about the driving culture. Which is a big one.
Say about that.
Hospitality, security and safety in Dubai, how safe it can be.
Oh, I don't think we did talk about that.
Did we not?
I think we meant more security and getting the commission.
Well, we talked about safety as well. Remember you said about the guy who sent his son back home? Oh well, but this is what we've talked about previously.
This is a recap.
You guys get during this.
Too drunk. And then we covered the end of last week with a bit on upselling, so where you can make money elsewhere. Like it was.
So for residential, it's like Wi-Fi selling, kitchen upgrades, stuff like that.
Yeah, like hacker kitchen.
Money transfers and other things.
So yeah, that was the bit real estate last week. I think that covered it, to be fair.
Yeah,
that
was
just
pretty much
more
what
like speaking about.
Yeah, our experiences in most scenarios, and but we're trying to uplift it now. We're trying to bring in a bit more positivity.
Yeah, we've been quite negative for the past 3 ones, so this is going to be...
So this is your positive episode and you brought me in.
Exactly,
okay.
yeah, exactly.
Alright, I've got some positive things to say.
Yeah, alright, so Lorenzo's here. So we'll start off with the funny story, right? So we didn't know each other until we joined. So we didn't know each other until we started our new company in Dubai. We were both new here.
Yeah.
Both off pay. Turns out we live 20 minutes away from each other in the UK.
Yeah.
We were on the same flight out here.
Yeah.
We checked into the same hotel at the same time the
Yeah.
day we landed. And then we started at the same company.
Yeah.
And we would put into the same area in the same company as well.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago?
That was almost 2 years ago.
Yeah. That's quite mad,
It's
isn't
a
it?
mad story because I saw some guy checking into the hotel. Obviously, it's the first time I've ever come to Dubai. I've never even came here before. Just jumped on a plane and thought, that's how I'm changing my life.
Yeah, same here.
And remember, you was up at the reception.
I do remember.
And I got the smoking room. I got the last smoking room. And you were gutted about that.
I hear this arrogant little shit. Literally, the one in front of me, I'm in the queue behind it. This little shit's going, oh my god, you can smoke in the room. That's amazing. I can have a smoke in the bath. Where's the nearest corner shop? I'm going to go buy some cigarettes. This is like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm ready to dump my bags and go to bed. Right, this guy's the most enthusiastic little shit I've ever seen in my life. I might never have to see him again.
Yeah.
And here we are 2 years later.
That's it. It's the way it goes. And honestly, I smoked a whole pack of fags in that bath. I had my Netflix set up and I was smoking.
I've never heard that before in my life.
Honestly, mate, that room stunk. My clothes stunk. And I don't even smoke cigarettes that much.
No, I know. And me, the actual smoker, gasping for a cigarette, is stuck in a room that doesn't do it.
I know. But you know what? It's probably a benefit, mate. I must have gone in the first day stinking of cigarette. To be fair, I put on a lot of aftershave, man. So hopefully that's helped. But do you remember, you weren't even in a shirt on the first day. I think you were wearing a t-shirt.
I think I was wearing this exact shirt. Yeah, I think it was this exact shirt.
You turned up to a real estate company in Dubai, weren't you?
It wasn't our first day. It was like the week before, come in, meet the team and say hello.
Well, like an interview, preview.
Dan, everyone's in a suit, yeah. This guy's in a t-shirt, bro. Oh.
Make an impression. There's a photo of us. We went to the cafe.
Yeah, I know the photo. We haven't made our group chat.
Yeah. But the table was like up here, so there's me in my little t-shirt like this with my arms up on the table like
I
this.
fucking look tiny, mate. You can't even see me in it.
You do, yeah. That was strange, but yeah. Keep it casual.
And I was in the same company as well.
You were, but you joined a month or two later.
I just jump over and say hi.
Yeah.
You smoking, yeah? That was it.
I was trying to think about our first conversation the other day. I can't
It was
remember
out
for the life of me.
It was out in the smoking area.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can't remember for the life of me.
I remember. Because it came up on the board, there's a guy starting the name with Daniel Craig. I was like, what the fuck? No way. I started speaking to Dan. I didn't realise Dan was Daniel Craig.
You just thought it was a weird Scottish prick.
That's it.
Dan from Commercial.
Dan from Commercial.
Actually, no. I remember we must have been outside having a smoke, and then we'd gone back inside, and you sent me a GIF.
Right.
But I didn't have your number saved or anything.
He done the same thing to me.
Yeah.
He sent me a gift. I didn't know who he was. I was thinking, who's this guy?
And then we spoke about it.
Yeah.
We were like,
who's this guy?
Like, what's going on here?
I sent you a screenshot. I was like, bro, like some guys just sent me a gift. Like, it's funny, but I don't know who it is.
And then it was like 3 days later, we met you again in the smoking area. You're like, oh, did you like my gift? Like that. I'm like, oh, got it.
I need to recap on this because I can't even fucking remember that.
You'll have to
scroll up.
the messages. Yeah, I've lost it. I'll never be able to find it. But yeah, that was some confusing shit.
Yeah,
right?
mate.
And that's where, then we boom, that's where the friendship started.
That's where it started. That's our origin story. That is it.
So creeped out for like 3 days.
Oh man, I couldn't figure it out.
What the fuck is this?
I could not. I thought, is it a client? Like, how am I meant to respond?
Yeah, exactly. Because for some reason you didn't have a profile.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't. You mate, you couldn't fucking save us out there.
I can't remember this. Shoot it right down.
So anyway, so the point of that is me and you started in the marina doing leasing at the same time.
Yeah.
I think a week in, you said, I'm not doing lease anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to sales.
Yeah.
I stayed in leasing. I'm still a broker. You went off to sales. You're not a broker. Tell us your story from week one at the company.
So obviously a few days in, we done our phone calls, right? We were smashing the phones. I went out to meet a few landlords. I done all this running around, and then I calculated my commission if I actually rented out each of the units, and it's not what was promised. You know, like when you're on the phone to these recruitment companies before you come out here, they promise you a lot in aspects of rental and sales.
Yeah.
Now, what they say in rental is not what you want. It really isn't. Like, you'd have to be doing insane volume to get close to what they say.
Yeah, it's like year 2 or 3 figures.
Year
is
2,
what they promise you in year 1.
Possibly even year 4.
I remember, like the recruitment company I use. They said you'll earn so much money in your first year, you'll be flying back first class to meet.
That's exactly what they told me.
Guaranteed.
Exactly what
that
was
guaranteed.
You didn't know if you were doing leasing or sales.
No, that was for sales.
No,
because I knew I was doing sales. I don't know if you did. Leasing, sorry.
Yeah, for me now, like I came over to Dubai with around 5 years worth of real estate experience anyway, so I knew what I was doing. Now, the reason I started off in leasing was maybe I wasn't too smart with my money back home. I was a bit stupid, so I spent a lot. You know, trying to look cool, trying to look fly. I spent a lot of money. Then when I got the phone call for Dubai, I was like, yeah, I'm going to take the opportunity. Flew out a week later, but I only had a certain amount of money.
That's mad, that is. Yeah, I had like 3 months worth.
I had literally a week. Yeah, literally. I spoke to them, a week later I was on the plane. So for me, I'm always a risk taker. Like, I think you don't get very far unless you take the make or break risks.
With risk comes reward.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we would all stand by you in that when it comes to real estate over here.
Yeah.
Not even that. I think that's a mentality of just moving abroad in your 20s, right?
Yeah.
Because we're quite a rare breed. That doesn't
not
really
many
happen
people
anymore.
do this, man. People
whether it's to Dubai or Europe or.
So, I mean, people don't want to take that risk. People don't want to leave comfort. They don't want to leave their families. They don't want to leave their friends. They don't want to go somewhere where they're completely alone. Now, to me, that's the issue. Look, if you're willing to take that risk, you don't know where your life can go.
Exactly.
So for me, it's the best move, best decision I've ever made. I'm loving every day of it. Well, not every day, but yeah, I'm loving it.
You had 5 years of real estate experience in the UK.
Yeah, I started when I was 17. So.
But so in these places back home, right? They always give you like a base salary.
Yeah, correct.
Do you get commission as well?
Yeah, so the way it works back home, it's what's called a 180 roll compared to Dubai, which is a 360 roll. So with the 180 roll, your managers would take on the stock, right? So they do the valuations, they'd get the stock on. And what your job to do as a broker back home is to sift through the inquiries, do the viewings, and actually get the deals closed. Now, you'd be on a basic salary.
Sorry to interrupt. And the managers who do the valuations, do they tend to be accredited with like RICS or something like this? Yeah. It's different over here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Any John, Dick and Harry can like, I value your property based off of, well, that one sold for the same price, so
Yeah, so it's very different, very, very different. It's a lot harder out here because you practically do everything yourself.
Yeah.
But it's also easier because it's like the prices to evaluate a property, because all the buildings are more or less quite new. People are just walking in, looking at a building and buying it. Whereas back home, you'd have someone who comes in, make sure the structure is still intact.
Yeah,
There's no structural damage. What's up in the loft? Poking heads. Over here, people just go, yeah, this is a good area. I'll make a bit of money out of this. I'll buy it.
Honestly, even with sales, the valuation process is very straightforward here. The guy comes from the bank. He has a quick look around. Honestly, the valuation process probably takes less than 10 minutes. They come, they ask you if it's
Is it different with villas?
Yeah, it will
Is
be
it a bit more intense with villas?
Villas may be a bit more intense because obviously you've got a larger square footage. It'll take a bit more time to look through all the rooms. But with apartments, it's literally under 10 minutes.
It's mad, isn't it? Yeah,
and it's purely done based off what's sold. So in what building, in what area, they do the valuations off that.
Do you think this could be a problem for Dubai in the future?
I think in aspects of market stability, potentially.
But what about the actual structure of buildings?
But do you think there's such good building managements in place that the building is so regularly checked?
That's the thing.
The structure of the building
depends on the area as well. It depends on the area completely.
And all the materials that you put onto a building have a certain warranty, right?
Right.
They have an expiration date.
20 years, 30 years down the line.
We don't know that because obviously the buildings have been around
that old. Well, no, look at the stuff that is starting to get old. So there's the Torch in Marina, which isn't that old, right? How old's the Torch? 15 years?
Yeah, roughly.
And how many times is that?
That's had issues, but it's also to do with the developers as well. Like when you look at the Marina, if you look at the original 6 towers, right, Emaar 6, that's incredibly well maintained.
Yeah.
Those apartments look fantastic. If they're kept up by the tenants, they look great. The communal areas look fantastic. The property management there's brilliant, and they're selling for high prices because it's so well maintained. Emaar does a great job of that.
Yeah.
So for me, when you're looking at master developers, if you want something that's going to stand the test of time and appreciate in value when the market goes up, it's always going to be Emaar.
You go for Emaar.
You go for Emaar for sure.
So that's quite interesting to be fair. The whole of Dubai Marina was going to be an Emaar project.
Yeah,
and they ran out of money.
Yeah.
And that's why the Marina is one of the only places in Dubai that has a mix of Emaar, Damac,
so that's what makes it so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what makes it so interesting and different. The way each tower is, the difference in the towers.
Yeah, that's why it's so vibrant.
It is. That's what I think.
So that's why the quality varies so much. So
exactly.
You look at something like Manchester Tower, Princess Tower, where you
Tower.
Fuck, so you're starting a Tiger Tower. Jesus.
Yeah.
There's a different smell on every floor.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I know what he's cooking, and then someone else gets on next to that.
I was reading a viewing there once. Do you remember? That was one of the things she said. It fucking stank in the common areas. Do you remember?
Yeah. You also get a different level of clients as well. Like if each building that you list on, you see a dramatic change in the type of people that come to view.
Phone quality as well, man.
Yeah.
You were talking about something after you spent 5 years in real estate back home.
Yeah.
It's a bit more, what would you say,
it's
sophisticated?
Regulated.
It's more regulated, number one, and two, it's easier. Like it really is easier.
Because you've already got
easier
stock.
back home.
It's easier back home.
The managers give you the stock, you just go get it out and get the job done. You're the runner essentially. Right?
So you basically take it over from when you put the listing on.
It's the face of the company.
Exactly.
The physical face.
That's it.
Right.
So you deal with the inquiries coming in, then you'll get your base salary plus commission.
So you don't pitch for listings at all?
You can pitch for listings if you speak to someone new. Or if you,
but that's typically done by
it's typically like if you go out on valuations. Where I was a young broker, and you'll see this with most brokers up until they get to that stage, the valuations will be done purely by the managers.
Okay.
So by the trusted employees of the company, right? People have been doing it for years.
People
look older.
People call up the companies as opposed to
cold
calling.
And
There's
this is the thing as well.
There's
exclusivity is prime back on. Like it's the
Yeah,
way you sell.
There's so much more loyalty.
You
There's so much more loyalty.
Exactly,
And for me, that is such a better way to sell your property.
Oh, 100%,
like here,
yeah, 100%.
the amount of competition that you have, every agent's trying to undercut every agent. I feel like the seller loses out on quality that way. They think they're going to sell their property quicker by giving it to everyone to benefit from everyone's database, but it becomes a rat race to sell.
Yeah.
I've had a problem with this, right? Because I've been through like 100 different strategies, right? I do leasing and sales and commercial all over Dubai, right? I'm confused. So I had this one point in time where I said, I'm going to shoot for exclusivity only. And it was one of the hardest things I ever did. Although I got a few, I would find that my loyalty wasn't as strong anymore because of, I've got 1 or 2 exclusive clients that I want to sell their properties, but there's so many other people that I'm on the phone with on a daily basis that are just not loyal and the same values. And I found it very hard to stick with this exclusivity, this loyalty, because of the actual culture that was just so distracting.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question on that quickly?
Yeah.
When you were pitching for exclusivity, how much were you relying on the company name that you're at? How much did that factor into it?
100% of the pitch. The
company
I probably used about at least 20 to 25%.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's lower than I expected.
See, now the thing with Dubai is as well, there's so many real estate companies, right? In my honest opinion, it doesn't matter who you work for, because at the end of the day, a company is defined by the agents that work for it.
Yeah.
So if you're working for a company no one knows, and you're a standout agent and you do everything you say, you're going to be better than the crappy agent.
And
I agree.
That's one thing you can say is just like, well, listen, since a year or two ago, there weren't half the companies there are today.
Exactly.
But it's still it's a very good brokerage, like everyone I work with.
I mean, you have to think of it from the sellers and landlord's point of view as well. I mean, imagine how many times a day they're getting phone calls, right?
20, 30 days.
Like, imagine.
So, at least,
they must be fed up of it, right? Which is why I think it's so important to implement new tactics as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, first impressions mean everything. The way you want, like, speak on that phone for the very first time, it says a lot about you. And you have to imagine that you're on the receiving end of this phone call. What do you want to be hearing?
Exactly.
What would make you put your trust in someone? So I always say this as well, trust isn't gained over one phone call. It's not possible. What you have to do is repeat phone calls, you have to stay on top of them, make sure they understand that you care. That is the major difference here.
Yeah.
A lot of agents do not care. So for them, it's about the dollar sign. They see the money in the pocket, that's what a seller means to them or a landlord means to them. But if you get past that and you actually want to take care of them, they understand that. And that's what creates loyalty.
Yeah.
And they will come back to you. Why would they go to another agent who only cares about the commission?
Exactly.
We covered a little bit on this maybe last week or the week before. But we were talking about how it took me 3 months of calling up my guy again and again and again, and I sold 2 properties in the same tower purely based off of the fact that although they didn't want to sell at the time, they weren't doing anything else with the unit. And I corrected them on their prices. And I kept reminding them that my price was correct over the course of 3 months, to the point where they said, Dan, sell it for me.
Yeah, again, that's a great tactic as well.
Yeah, I think there's a statistic out here in Dubai. I think our old company used to have a bit of material that would show, but it was something like a relationship isn't built until between the 8th and the 13th phone call. And it shows you a step by step what the first phone call should be, what the second phone call should be, what the third phone call.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Absolutely, but it's all based off on that first phone
It's the long game. This is what we were saying, right? People come out here to make a quick buck. And I think I'm guilty of this, to be fair, and I think you might be as well. You're different because
it's always possible. It's always possible.
The way Dubai was sold to me is that it is a quick buck. Like, I came out here, I'll do a year out here, I'll earn fucking loads of money, and then I'll go back home and I'll live a cushy life. 1 or 2 months in, I'm like, no, that's not what it is at all. It's not a quick buck in the slightest.
You should have followed him.
I should have followed him. You did make a quick buck. Yeah,
he went out the same. You should be like, is Lorenzo onto something?
I was so on the fence.
I told him when I shifted over, I said to him that the money isn't going to be in rental, but you have to take the risk.
But do you mind if we go a little bit more into detail with that? Because and again, we'll cut this out if you don't.
No, that's fine. We can go in.
But I remember we were in the pool of the hotel that we were both staying in, and we sort of confessed to each other that we both really came out with the same funds, which I think was something like £7,000 or something like that.
Yeah, roughly around about that. Yeah.
And I remember being quite close to the breadline and being quite lucky that some rentals were coming in so that I could then support my income out here and actually stay out here. I had to rely on family, and I'm very grateful for that, but it was quite close those first sort of 3 months. And I think I remember you saying that you were quite close as well. And I think you broke a record for the quickest sale or something, is that right, in the Marina team?
Yeah. So when I shifted over to sales, I'd done my first sale within 2 weeks of starting sales, and that was full commission, so 2% from the buyer, 2% from the seller. Which was one of the quickest times a sale was done.
I remember when that happened.
So I'd done 3 sales that month as well. So my first month in sales, I'd done 3 sales. I put a very good figure on the board, and I saved myself from the brink line. But I think like when you're at that stage, a different animal's unleashed inside of you, because you know that it's either you're gonna sink or you're gonna swim. Everyone says this a lot, but you only really truly appreciate that when you're in that moment. So the desperation that comes from it, to not wanting to go back home failing, to not have that embarrassment, a truly different beast is awoken inside of you. And you start seeing opportunities where you wouldn't have seen it before. You can sort of smell the money, you know, in a sense.
I called that stubbornness last week.
Well, you
Yeah.
said Scottish.
The reason why I'm still here is it pure stubbornness, or am I actually
Well,
really
you did,
determined?
yeah, no, is
I
it
think
stubbornness or is it pride or is it something
determination.
like
No
that?
one wants to
Like-
go back home. No one wants to go back home because that's the other thing with here. Once you get a taste of this life, the UK just doesn't compare anymore.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
I did my best month last month. I beat my target for like the first time, and I was like, right, okay. Although I smell it, I felt like this comfort almost. I was like, right now I'm comfortable. I can just skip all the bullshit. Like it was like you said, this new beast is unlocked, right? I was like, right now I'm only taking care of those that I can sense an ounce of motivation off of.
Mm-hmm.
If I've got anyone else who's calling me about this, that, and that, I wouldn't really give them my time of day unless I can sense like they're actually gonna,
Yeah.
like they're doing it with genuine intent. If they're not doing it with genuine intent, then I'd just say bye bye.
So you would say having your best month gave you almost like a security blanket to
Yeah.
stop dealing with bullshit.
Because before the bullshit, it could have been that bread and butter.
Yeah.
It could have been like, all he wants is a shitty office in a place there's lots of availability, right? I can do that. I can spend 2-3 hours to take you there for you to tell me actually it's out with your budget and your budget is shite and you're never going to get anywhere else. Like, so I don't want to educate someone who isn't willing to be educated and they generally don't even need an office.
Yeah.
So
It's a stab in the dark.
the end of last month was 2 weeks ago to the day.
Yeah.
How is your new mindset treating you? How's this month going?
So
Very good question.
it's a good question.
Thank you.
have
Can you
been,
tell we've done this 4 times?
Yeah, I can tell.
I've been a little bit particularly bored this last week.
Yeah.
It's only Monday, mate.
No. I've got a good few clients that I know that are yeses, and it's just taking sweet time for them to.
Fair enough.
Commercials are a different game, man.
Yeah.
Like
I
this,
imagine.
like a deal can last. The deal that I'm finalising this week has taken since the start of July, and the money isn't even in yet. Could you imagine if like doing like what July,
Well, it's 4
August,
months,
September,
yeah.
October, November, like 4 months of work, and you haven't even been paid yet?
Yeah. See, that's.
Now imagine doing
That's
4 months of work, you get paid by the tenant. Okay, now it's time for the landlord to pay, and then you've got another 2-3 months of waiting.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? 7 months since day one, and you just got paid.
Do you mind me asking how much would that paycheck be?
This current one?
That one that's going to take you 7 months in total.
Oh no, that was a scenario where the landlord was paying. But this particular job that I'll be finalising this week is only 11k on the board.
Okay, fine.
Dirhams.
I was only asking because it's interesting to try and work out the differences in pay between back home and here, because we were just talking before you started. You lose track of money, and we've spoken about this before.
That's why you need to use your time very valuably. Like, although it's taken 4 months, how much time have I actually spent in this?
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
How much time do you
I
really
make it
spend?
sound long, but I might put in maybe an hour, 2-3 hours a week
Okay. Over 4 months.
over 3 months.
Over 3 months. Do maths.
Come on, man.
4 times 3 is
4
12.
times 3 is 12.
Times
3 is
36. So 36 hours for, let's say, 10k of work.
Say 11k, right?
Well, that makes it harder to work out.
That's
Neither
like
of
two-
us- Can you get a phone out for the calculator?
£2,000 for how many hours?
36. Can you just do that? 2,000 divided by 36?
Let's just find the calculator up here. Here we go. 2,000 divided by 36.
This is thrilling conversation.
This is 55.
So £55 an hour isn't a bad wage.
I would say that's like a junior consultant, right?
£55 an hour.
£55 an hour is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. But
Right.
then let's say there's 8 hours.
And then divided by 2.
No. Oh yeah, divided by 2. So
Oh my god, you have to divide it by 2. That's the company's
Yeah,
split.
good
So
point.
divide that by 2. We're now looking at 27.7. So 27. But to be fair, come on.
It's still not bad. Yeah, it's still not bad.
And
But
we've got
if
other
you-
things in the go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. But okay, so again, if you don't mind saying, what were you earning as a real estate agent back in the UK?
So it depended because I done 3 different roles when I was back home in the UK. The last one I done before I came out here was off-plan sales. And for me, I was on around about £66,000 a year before tax.
Okay. What about before that when you were doing just residential?
Just residential, I must have been on around about 30,000 a year.
Okay. And if you don't mind me asking or sharing again, we can cut it out if you don't. But what would you say your average year has been?
Here?
Yeah. Do it in dirhams, we'll do the conversion.
How much have I made in dirhams?
If you be as specific as you want.
You don't need to say either. It's just going to make me drink more.
Yeah, don't kill myself. But it'll be very interesting for the listeners. If you feel comfortable
in
sharing.
a year's time, I'd say around about 700,000
dirhams.
Oh,
yeah. Tough for that.
Yeah, if I said pounds, I'd be insane.
I'd have killed myself.
700,000 dirhams.
I'd have been like, why am I buying beers tonight?
Do you want to chip in tonight?
You're getting pizza later.
Am I?
Yeah.
Right,
yeah, so roughly about that.
Well, I think you are now. You said
that's fine. That's fine.
Well, when you guys were on the residential side of things, it's safe to say that me from commercial, although what we're going to talk about next is potential. The reason why I stuck through commercial is because of the potential.
Yeah, exactly.
But every time I'd come over to you guys, obviously I'd hear all the fantastic
Not
stories.
so much from me, but Lorenzo.
Oh, everyone there. Like, I would come join you guys for a cigarette, whatever, and I'd hear about the stories. I'd look at the board, of course. I've got eyes, and I'd think, right, is it time for me to make this move? And it got to the point where I didn't have the backing behind me to go into sales. I couldn't do 3 months without getting paid anymore. I did at the start because I came from another company in Dubai where I was getting paid like it could have been the equivalent of £50,000 a year untaxed. So I had my savings, right? But I'd spent it all figuring out.
Do you wish you took that risk?
Yes and no. I think I really love commercial because there's so much to it. I think my problem is focusing down on certain areas, certain specialisms, but the commercial market is more saturated than you think. Like, it's actually very hard to get availability for a lot of office spaces. If food and beverage, retail units, hotels, like the new buildings that pop up, they're the ones that are looking for the concepts, the restaurants, the clubs, the bars. Like, they're going like this. See, before the building's built, someone's leasing it, essentially. So getting into that game is like another level. Like, that's where my old boss, and you might remember her, blonde hair, very voluptuous woman.
Oh yes, I do.
Well, voluptuous. Yeah, she did have crazy hair.
Yeah. So she was so in the game, it was unreal. So she was doing good numbers based on her relationships with hotels and everything.
How long has she been in the game for?
At least maybe 11 years now.
Yeah. Wow. Right.
That's just the thing.
We
can't compare ourselves to people who've been here for a long time.
I can't, but if commercial says that I need to be in the game 10 years before I can get in touch with whatever, like I need to start now. I know.
Yeah, of course.
I know where to shoot for. Anyway, coming back to the quick buck, one of my motivations to get into sales was the quick buck.
Yeah, of course. That's how it's advertised as a job.
Yeah. But like, I imagine, like, once I've tasted the money and I realised, right, where my work is going, what money's coming in afterwards, I can see this as a long-term game.
Yeah.
That's definitely 100%. If I got a paycheck of 300,000 1 month, I'd be like, I want that again.
Yeah, exactly. You chase it.
So,
yeah.
And I'd be like, this guy just bought a villa with a lovely pool and he's going to have some parties. Like, I want to be part of that. I want a relationship like that where I'm invited to his barbecues and I've got, Anyway. So, am I going to join residential? We'll see.
Well, you've been saying that since I left 7 months ago, so...
Yeah.
At the least, that is at the least.
Anyway, potential, right? Coming up in commercial, I was seeing, like, and I think this is a running joke for a lot of brokers, is like, oh, I just found a building for sale, does anyone have a buyer? And you ever get things like that? Buildings for sale, large plots for sale, this for sale.
Very occasionally, very occasionally. But is there ever a buyer for that sort of stuff?
You'll find a landlord with like 20 units. He tells you he's got 20 units, like this. Like you're like, I want to be your agent.
Oh, is this like when we pitched for the IFC thing?
No, you mean Garhood.
Okay.
The Sky Tower. I remember.
No, when we went with mine.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever it is.
Almanal.
Almanal.
Yeah.
So similar thing, right? There's a building available for lease. I need the whole building leased.
You can try and get it exclusive and things like that. What I loved doing was actually going up and pitching to building owners and companies and saying like, this is why you should go with us. Like, we will give you the time. This is all the things that we can do. Like, out of the box.
Yeah.
And most of the time they piss around, but when I see potential, I'm talking about coming across and hearing about, like, I don't know, like 1 in a million chances, essentially. Like, amount of buildings I've come across that are for sale that are in good areas, and I'm like, that's like 40 million, that's 160 million. And I'm thinking, right, there's so much of this for sale, and people are buying it.
Yeah.
How do I get that online with me? How do I get someone to buy it? So I'm always coming across situations like this, but actually executing it I find incredibly hard because I'm still figuring out how to do it.
That's where experience comes into play. See, that's the difference between a broker who's been here 11 years and a broker who's been here a year and a half, 2 years, right? That experience comes into play. So if you've been here for over a decade and you're doing that, trial and error, you're going to learn.
Yeah.
You're going to learn the different types of clients, and essentially you're going to have more luck, right? Because we create our own luck in this game, and luck is important here. Because in order to find the right buyers, in order to find the right properties, I mean, to get a unit of that caliber, you need the right stock, right?
But
so
the
difference in getting that stock, right, could be you calling the seller on a bad day, or you calling the seller on a good day.
Yeah. 100%.
So this is where luck comes into it as well. Did you just call him after he had a fight with his partner, or did you just call him after his son's graduated?
But you know what you mentioned there, what we've mentioned there is actually important because it involves a focus on an area. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you've got a seller who's got this in this area. Like, I've got, right, I'm working on, say, offices in Marina Media City, JLT, right? That's one area. Someone says they've got a building for sale in Bay Square, but I've got no properties in Business Bay, which is near Bay Square.
Yeah.
Then how do I find the leads to buy a building when I'm the one who knows it's for sale?
The only way to do it is get it online. There's no other way. Unless you rely on people within the company as well, you can rely on their buyers via group chats.
Or clients who know someone, or companies who might know someone, connections within company. Right, I phoned all those numbers, I'm not getting anywhere. And that's where I lie. I'm like, right, they're not letting me list it. It's too big a property, it's too expensive. So.
What about LinkedIn? Have you tried LinkedIn? A lot of people
I've tried it on LinkedIn a few times, yeah. I've got a good LinkedIn page. I'm very particular with my connections. Like, I'll get connections from all sorts of real estate companies and recruiters and all this. I won't accept it because I know what that brings. It doesn't bring really what I need on my profile. Although it's good to have the numbers and the exposure, but when I go down my feed, I want to see something that's relevant to me.
Yeah, see, that's where I made a mistake.
It's taken me like 2-3 years to build a LinkedIn account with under 500 followers, where everyone is actually relevant to my industry and
that's very important. See, the error I made, I jumped on LinkedIn, right? Because I wasn't really about that LinkedIn game. And I came out here and the company asked me, do you have LinkedIn? I was like, no, I really got to make one. I just started connecting to everyone.
But the thing is, right, the exposure you can get off of that is crazy. And you can see it on your posts. You can say, right, although no one, maybe like 50% or 40% of the people who see it are relevant, but you'll see like 2,000 people have seen this post, and maybe 30 people have liked it, or something like that. And for me, it could be 30 people liked it, but only 400 people saw it. But you've got more exposure on it, like it's crazy. So it definitely helps, I would say.
Well, exposure is more important.
Exposure is definitely more
important.
Exposure is
someone having the right connections, in my opinion, is more important than exposure. Because if you're saying products out, like, who do you want seeing it? Do you want to have another agent who's going to potentially steal your stock seeing it? Or do you want someone who's actually going to buy that stock seeing it?
It depends what you're putting out there, though, doesn't it?
If I've got a good relationship with someone in like developers' offices mainly, I don't accept other real estate agents from other companies who I've never met before. Like, I wouldn't do that. I don't know.
I've connected to hundreds of those.
Yeah, but the argument there is, what if they do bring you a client?
And see, to be fair, Lorenzo, you've got like a good name, right? Your name is actually heard throughout different real estate companies.
Even though neither of us two know how to pronounce it.
I don't think anyone ever does.
Hence why you've more or less been headhunted, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So people have been searching for him.
Yeah. I get a lot of requests.
Because he killed it.
Yeah. So for me, I feel like the track record helps as well because companies eventually hear about what you've done, and it's easy to prove what you've done when you've done it here because everyone sees everyone's figures, like you guys said earlier. Like here, money's no secret, right? When you're working in these companies, it's all up on the board. Everyone knows what everyone is making. So for me, it's just about that exposure. It's very, very easy to get headhunted when people know.
As long as you keep that reputation.
Exactly.
And
that's the thing, reputation comes
gas. Yeah.
This is the other thing as well, the other point I wanted to make.
It takes one bad move.
When you have those big months, my God, is it hard to stay motivated afterwards?
Yeah,
like, I had my
100%.
biggest month a couple of months ago. It was midsummer when the market usually isn't that vibrant. But I had my biggest ever month, and then you start to notice. Like the foot comes off the pedal a bit. And for me, this is what makes the difference between those killer brokers and brokers who need to keep that motivation up. I mean, you see the killers, right? Their foot is constantly on the gas, regardless of what figures they do every month. They're in early, they're making those phone calls every day, they're farming the data, and they leave late, right? They're sort of machines in a way. Like these are the guys who are making the most in Dubai, unless you take into account the lucky ones, right? Who's met that one client and the client's just giving them everything.
Yeah, it does happen. Yeah. But there's no longevity in that either.
No, there isn't, because once you lose that client, you're back to square one again.
Exactly.
Regardless of how much
there's
you
no
make.
longevity in luck. Yeah.
Like here, it's all about farming the data, and it's difficult, which is why a lot of brokers don't last in this game. They don't. Like people come out here, like we said earlier, they think it's a quick buck, right? And then they sit down and they realise what the work is, how much it actually entails, and people get scared and people leave. It is a very stressful job. Like people need to understand this. When you come to Dubai to do this job, you're not on vacation. You can't be. If you are, you're gonna fail. So this is what we would advise as well when we first came out here. Don't party, don't go out too much in your first 6 months to a year, work. And that's really what it is. Like you go through stress and depression at points here, you really do. Because where you're not on a like basic wage, you don't know when the next payment is. When you're at that make or break point, which like I was at the beginning, you get to that point and the stress kicks in and you're thinking, is this worth it? You know?
Yeah, I could go home and...
I could go home
if I go home and run out of money, the worst thing that's happened is I move in with my dad again. Do you know what I mean? Whereas out here, if you run out of money, where the fuck do you go?
You jump straight back on a plane.
What if you can't even afford that? Where do you go?
Fucked.
Well, Lorenzo just told me he was making 60k before tax doing real estate in the UK. I see you later, guys.
That's a comfortable wage.
That's just the thing as well, though. I'd rather be out here, right, working with 0 basic and 50 commission, which is I'm more than that now, to be fair. Then back in the UK on a basic, because the UK is just depressing. Like, we've seen it go to hell since we're here.
I'm glad you said that. I think in episode 1, like you have obviously done.
He's on his next glass of wine, but Dan's getting smashed. I love it.
No, I'm just chilling. Talk to me when I've finished half of it.
Mixing it, like, come on, what happened to the real Dan?
Yeah, why is it
Be honest with you, now you'll be right.
If it's warm as in this bloody house, I told you to put on the AC.
It is hot. It's hot. I'm wearing full jeans and that. He didn't warn me.
I told him for the past 3 fucking weeks, and last week he said, "Oh, it's been on, man." I'm like,
"It is on."
Let's just lower that.
It's
fine. This is the thing. It's set to 10 degrees, but it's 26 and a half in here.
It can't be set to 10 degrees.
Set to 10 degrees.
You gotta press the fan.
It's on high, bro.
Put in the fan.
Put it on full.
It's on full. It's on full. No, mate, your aircon doesn't work. Your aircon's broken.
My aircon doesn't work.
It's set to 10
degrees. That's
no. It's set to 10 degrees. It's on high and it's on cool. Your aircon's broken, mate.
What?
Your aircon is broken.
This is why my phone cuts off.
I'm absolutely sweating, mate. I'm glad someone said something.
He says something every week.
No, I'm glad he does, mate. It is baking in here.
Mate, it's 26 degrees. It's fine.
It's not working.
No, it's not working.
What do you mean it's not working?
It's not working.
How can it not be working?
You can't exactly turn an aircon on and off and expect it to work.
You're gonna try it though. You can hear it.
You can hear it, but it's not working properly because it's not cooling down the room. Look, it's on high and you can't feel nothing. Yeah, get us some ice, man. Let's just bury it up.
Wow!
It's not even ready. Your freezer's broken too,
mate.
mate.
This is on max.
Oh dear me.
Maximum heat.
Right. Anyway, Well, that's a big edit cut there. Great.
Nah,
We'll keep that in there.
Oh,
We need people to know.
The struggle.
the shit we go through to get this thing filmed.
It's good to have a third person, because when
He
it comes
does bring it
to
out once a week, every week, to be fair.
we come on to this and we argue about something, and you always need a third person to be like, actually, I agree with him.
Yeah,
And
you
not
need
biased,
yeah,
of course.
yeah.
Like it goes around in circles, doesn't it?
So you're saying my AC is stopped and I'm
One day Enzo will say, "Will agree with me" instead of you, and then I'll agree with you, and he'll call me an arsehole. But I'm just Enzo, just appreciate my honesty.
No, I love honesty, mate. I love the honesty.
Right. So we talked about potential, big earnings. We had a recap. You told us your story. We want to talk about the secrets to success. Now we've already gone through a little bit into relationships and longevity of things, but
okay, I'll ask a direct question.
Alright, okay, go ahead.
I'll ask a direct question. You managed to do a deal within your first 2 weeks, full commission, and you did 3 deals that first month.
Yeah.
Record breaking.
Yeah.
How'd you do it?
So for me, like I said, when you make or break, you unleash a different monster, right? So for me, it was just volume. So I didn't put that phone down. I didn't go to the toilet. I didn't have lunch. I was constantly working. So 9 times out of 10, when you're on the phone here, right, you don't get the answer you want, right? You don't get a property on for the right price that you want. It's
we did a very good role play. You can listen to it last week's episode.
Yeah. Let's give it a watch. I'm honestly not looking forward to it. It's that 10th phone call though, right? It's the one that you need. Like some days you can be on the phone from 9 till 6 to 7 to 8 and you get nothing. Absolutely nothing, right? And then some days you come in and everything starts fitting together magically, right? Everything's working out. You've got people who want to sell at the right price. You've got buyers who you can actually help. For me, most importantly, it's about getting the listing on. Because you have 2 different types of agents here. You have buyer's agents and you have seller's agents, right? Or listing agents, sorry.
Buying agents recently becoming a thing though, right? I'd say that's a newer thing. I'd say definitely the past 6 months to a year. When I think we first came out, I very rarely saw. A buyer's agent is someone.
I'm going to shut up, sorry.
A buyer's agent is someone that will. So you're looking for
a buyer's agent. Alright, okay.
Yeah, so you get a lot of people contacting you.
Slow down on those buckets.
Yeah, they hit them harder than I thought.
Jesus Christ.
So with the buyer's agent, what they'll do is they'll have the buyer, right? And the buyer will say to them, Lorenzo, I want this, and this, and this, but I haven't got time and I don't want the headache of hunting for this listing
Go
myself.
and find me something.
Find me it, right? However you find it, that's your problem. So you have one of 2 options. You either hunt on the property finder Bayou, right, for other agents who work with other agents, and you try to find stock,
hard.
which is hard anyway. No one wants to share. Have I like hunted for stock?
Have you done agent to agent before?
Yeah.
Have you done it before?
I would say it's harder in leasing than it is for sales because in
for
sales
sure.
you're splitting a bigger commission. In leasing you're splitting a teeny tiny commission. I would say it's next to impossible. If you're dealing with like multi-million-pound mansions and stuff like that, fair enough, you split the commission.
But I find
with apartments, it's near impossible. Almost no agent in the marina for leasing wants to split their commission.
Because it takes them out of the office, like I said, time being paid by the hour, and what are the odds?
Well, imagine you split your commission with a company, you've then got to split that with another agent as well. You're getting quarter commission rather than half commission.
Okay, so back to the main topic of how it was done in 2 weeks.
Yes, sorry, we do go off on a tangent.
I'll keep us on track, don't worry. So the way it was done is purely stock. So get as much stock online as you can that's good quality. Like, you don't want shit stock, right? You don't want dead stock. You don't want things that's going to sit there for months and not sell, right? You want the good stuff. You want things that are priced correctly in high turnover areas, right?
Okay, and tell me, how do you go about finding that?
Numbers. Call through as much people as you can. The more time you spend on the phone.
But you said you want good quality stock and high turnover.
So the first way I find that, I'll go onto like things like Property Monitor, right, or Data Finder, and then you see the transaction levels per building. Now, if you're seeing a building that isn't turning over much sales, what is the point of absolutely hammering that building? There isn't much, right? There isn't much. However, if you're looking at high turnover buildings, you understand that people are actually interested in that. People are drawn to that building, right? Because it's got some quality to it. So what I would then do, I would check what's on the market, right? And then correspond it with my data that I've got. And then I will hunt for units that I know aren't exclusive that I can get listed as well, which I will list better. So you take better quality photos, you do better descriptions, okay? Because that way you're going to get more people reaching out to you. And you want to get those listings on premium as well. So depending on how many premiums your company allows you, The good stuff you want to make premium.
Yeah, that's key.
Premium for the audience is a feature that you can use on the portals that puts it up to the top, puts it up higher than someone. If it's a premium.
Yeah, so there's a certain level of advertisements. You have standard,
and it takes it above the rest.
featured, premium.
Yeah, so you don't want to be on the second or third page of that listing.
Yeah,
because
so signature puts you to the top of the listings, featured puts you somewhere in the middle, and then a standard listing is just you're on there, you'll be on page 3 or 4.
Exactly. And Property Finders obviously released their new super agent as well, depending on how fast you answer inquiries, what the level of stock online is.
There's something else. There's super agent and there's community expert.
Community expert,
and one of them you pay for, and one of them you earn.
Yeah, so you earn super agent and you pay for community expert.
Right, gotcha. So any Tom, Dick and Harry can be...
No, because you have to have made a certain amount of sales and you have to have a rep somewhere.
In leasing, no.
In leasing, no? No, in sales, there's requirements for it.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. Just touching on that as well. You said your trick is you would find a building based on property monitor and high turnover. You then go on to Property Finder, one of the property portals out here. You look at where the listings are.
Yeah.
You look for the ones that aren't exclusive. You then take that and then you make a better advert.
Yeah.
How easy is it to make a better advert than
easy.
9 out of 10 of the agents out here? Nobody seems to have a clue. There's shit photos that they can't work.
Do you know what my pet peeve is?
It's ridiculous.
My pet peeve is this, right? When people take horizontal vertical photos.
Why? Why do the portals allow it?
I don't know.
Jesus,
it's
ridiculous.
It really does determine because Dubai.
Do you know what I love that they allow it? I love that they allow it because
too.
it makes it easier for us, right?
Yeah.
It's so easy. All you need is this, right? You need an iPhone with that third camera, the wide angle lens.
Zoom out, 0.5.
Yeah. And if you've got half a brain cell, you can figure out which angle you can take.
Tuck yourself into a corner, duck right down, get rid of the lens flare, boom, you're better than 90% of the fucking
And the
agents out
description.
here.
The description as well.
Ludicrous.
Yeah.
It is
Honestly.
ludicrous.
And better yet, edit those photos. Edit those photos. Use the software that's on your iPhone.
Literally, all you need to do, even whack the brightness up sometimes.
Put
That's as easy as
Put
it
the
can
vivid
be.
filter on it, guys. Honestly, the vivid filter will make you money.
Crazy how shit the adverts are here. If you're listening and you're not in Dubai, Google propertyfinder.ae or Bayou.ae, one of those two portals. Put in Dubai Marina because that's
where you get the
shittest ones are.
Yeah, that's where you get the worst
price low to high. And just have a look at how bad those adverts are.
They show you the kitchen, it's like the fridge doors open and there's like...
No, I tell you what I love is when there's a bathroom shot and you've got some fella in the mirror trying to make it look like he's not in the mirror, but quietly, and then the flash is going off, so there's lens flare all over the camera.
The worst one I've seen was someone take a photo right in a bathroom. Crap, you know, man. The fucking camera was centered on a dirty toothbrush.
Oh god!
So they were trying to take a low angle picture of the sink, right, to get everything in it, and you could just see this manky toothbrush in the middle of the photo. Like, how do you look at that, right, and think that's okay to do?
No, exactly. It's like things like having the toilet seat up.
I've been guilty of that a few times because there's some toilet seats I will not touch, man.
You just kick it down with your foot.
It's not even worth that touching my shoe. Like, it's that bad.
So you can't be putting a...
I thought you said you weren't working with shit stock anymore.
No, this is when I first came over.
Sometimes they're quite quick turnover.
This is when I first came
That's
over
the bread
and I
and
was
butter,
doing leasing, man. Like, some of that leasing stock, my god.
But it's awful, and the descriptions as well. It's like, I get it.
Autocorrect people, it fucking exists.
I get it. We're in a
real nice villa for sale.
Yeah, exactly. Just the most ridiculous things. Available, but it starts with an E rather than an A, like E-available. I know it. I know it's so multicultural out here. English isn't a lot of first people's language. But there's an option where you can flick Property Finder, you can flick Bayou into Arabic, which is the local spoken language.
Exactly.
And that's still wrong.
And they've got spelling check.
It's just spell check.
Let's go back, secrets to success. I've heard you say target high turnover buildings that sell a lot.
Yeah.
Be in office. Don't take your foot off the gas because some people slack once they've made a bit of money because they're comfortable.
I've been guilty of that. I've been guilty of
Produce
that.
good quality adverts. That was
good
quality adverts. And the
good
other
stock.
thing,
Good stock gets good
what
leads.
information you give
This-
makes you sound different.
Just backtracking that on 1 second. I think you said something about in the office, no foot off the gas. You now work from home.
Yeah, I work from home.
How are you keeping your foot on the gas working from home?
So working from home can be a bit more difficult, right?
Because we all came from the same company, which had, what, 200 odd brokers, right?
Right.
Well, he lives with his bird now, so I imagine she cuts a bit of time cooking your meals and
She works as well. She works. When I'm at home,
We're not editing that out. That's staying in.
That's staying
that
in,
was
that's
out
in
in Tanya this weekend. I
Oh
didn't tell
my.
I used to keep my dinner tonight.
you.
It was lovely.
You're ordering pizza, mate.
I can manage. I need to bulk up.
It's the edit cut. Right, Lorenzo, so you now work from home.
Yeah.
How do you keep motivated?
So for me, obviously I haven't got the office to keep me motivated anymore, so you don't have the fire from other people calling out. So it's purely based off your own will. Now, this goes one of two ways, guys. I'm on more commission now, right? A lot more commission than the 50-50 split. I pay for my own listings, okay? This encourages me to not put dead stock on. So this encourages me to put stock on that's actually gonna sell. So every bit of stock on that I get online, I'm confident I can sell it, right? But it is hard. When you wake up in the morning, you've got no routine. If you have no routine, it's very fucking difficult. Right now, I've only just started working from home, right? So I've been setting up my targets for exactly what I want to do. Now, today I've taken on 3 bits of stock online, so I'm happy with today, right? It's about going to sleep early as well, man, because...
Oh, mate, I'm a 8:30 in bed, 9:30 asleep.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that.
100%.
I can't do that. I've got insomnia for sure. I can't sleep. I get my best sleep when that alarm goes off in the morning and I want to get up.
Okay.
I was just thinking about them deals.
Yeah, just can't sleep. It's just one of those ones. I've just never been able to sleep.
Okay.
But yeah, if you stay motivated and you've got your own personal will to carry on, then you're gonna do really well.
Yeah,
right?
because if you're not in the office for 9 o'clock, what gets you out of bed in the morning, right?
Exactly.
It's more and more responsibility.
It's a huge
Where we start,
responsibility,
right? If I was paying for my own listings, fuck, I'd be picky.
Oh, 100%.
And I'll tell you, I
100%.
don't put on that many listings anymore anyway, because I'm only looking for the good stuff. Like I get calls on JLT this, JLT that, and I'm like, I could go there, but if it was a decent tower, I would do it. Like I don't touch it.
I don't work on shit.
It's
So
a
for me, I
high
do not work on
turnover building, but
You'd have to do 10 deals in there to make it.
there'll be landlords who are sending it to every agent under the
I
sun.
hate those broadcast messages. I fucking hate those.
Oh, you're right. And they
Fucking
send
hate
you the
those.
photos and all their
Do you know what I mean?
documents.
And
in one
every
message, yeah.
prick under the sun here has got it.
I don't get that personally. I get it from the agents in my company. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, they think they're doing you a favour, the pricks.
yeah,
Because they don't want to deal with that shite. They
I'm
send you some-
guilty of that. I'm guilty of that.
I hate you,
I
Chris.
did look into it, and I was like, this guy's not budging. It's like I can't educate this guy.
I've done it once. It was in Arjan. The stock was in Arjan, and I live in Arjan, so I thought, fuck it. Like it's literally a 5-minute walk from my house.
Yeah.
I can probably do this. I went there, met the guy. I thought, fuck this. I'm not working with him. There's no way. Like, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I had one in Marina Keys East, I think, something like that.
Still good town.
Calling through, no balcony. He wanted 20k over what they're listed on Property Finder. I rang him, he didn't answer. I sent him a WhatsApp saying, I'm trying to reach you, blah, blah, blah. Got that copy and paste message, all of the photos, his passport, his title deed, and he said, this is the property, big description about the property, blah, blah, blah. Please bring your clients, in caps, no listing, no advertising. I went on Property Finder, 6 different agents with the photos that he'd sent through with the big bold cap saying no listing, no advertising.
Yeah. See,
You know what's crazy about Dubai, right?
Yeah.
And this is not. I'm trying not to get into a negative scenario here.
Because
right?
this episode is called Positivity
But I'm gonna do it
or
anyway.
Productivity. What are we calling this?
Well, we were on the secrets to success.
But what's the episode called? Positivity?
We haven't
I don't know.
found-
Something
we don't know yet.
something
We don't know yet. A special guest.
Special. I'll take that.
And
Special
now
guest.
introducing ... That's the
Yeah,
episode.
that's a good
Ah.
title.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
good
the
title.
title.
That's a good
Yeah.
title.
The other guy.
The other guy, the third
In
wheel,
for the bushes.
Lorenzo's something or
the
other.
third musketeer. Get in, fucking making my debut, mate. Scoring a hat trick.
But like in the UK, right?
Mm.
When you go into a building,
Yeah.
You don't expect to give, you know, someone who's sitting on the ground floor your passport.
Yeah.
You don't give anyone your passport. You don't give them shit.
There's no security, yeah.
Over here, when you want to list something online, fair dues, like you need to go through a certain protocol that says that your listing and your property can be put online because it needs to be verified to a legal extent before it can be sold.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what is it with like everything that require, like everywhere you go, everything you do, you need to have a document that says all your personal information on it.
Yeah.
Even phone contracts.
Yeah.
Even Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Like I can't sign a Wi-Fi contract without giving my passport.
Yeah.
I can't sign. I can't even cancel my phone bill
without your ID.
Without going to the office, giving them this, giving them that, an NOC from my boss because he was the one that's paying for it in a previous company. Why do I need to do this?
Yeah.
I've got my boss, his assistant, and me sitting in an office so that I can cancel my phone bill.
Yeah. See, that just leads on to the security of Dubai as well. Do you guys remember when we got our Emirates ID for the first time, the biometrics we done? They took every single fingerprint out. They took our palm prints. They took photos of us from every angle. It just goes to show that safety here is paramount.
Well,
right?
No, I'll bend the rules here and there. I don't really care.
I'm wearing shorts.
Let me tell you something. Those shorts are bending the rules. They're fucking horrific, mate.
Anyway, my point is, I don't particularly give a shit, right, about whether my phone messages are recorded or whether all my things are moved. But there are some people that are even more giddy two-shoes than me that will be like, that's an invasion of privacy.
All I'm saying is the brunt of my point is more or less that what people can do in the UK with your passport details is enough. Yeah. Right. I don't know how they do it or what they do.
Identity theft.
Identity theft, right?
Yeah, that's a serious
issue. And the UAE, although they are secure when it comes to physical safety, when it comes to data hacking and
but you have to think, how many criminals are there out here that will actually do that? Because the repercussions of getting caught here are so much more severe than they would be back home.
Yeah, but you say that, fundamentally as agents, we're given a database with a landlord's unit address, a landlord's phone number, a landlord's email address, the price that they paid it for, all of these details, and it is, we'll edit this out, illegal to call them.
Yeah, edit this out.
And yet we do.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
And how many texts or calls, maybe not so much recently, but 3 months ago, I was getting a call a day or a WhatsApp message a day with a letter from Dubai Central Bank saying your bank details need to be verified. Please call this mobile number, not landline number, mobile number to confirm your bank details.
I've had calls from Dubai police before, but and it was scary. Like at first, I was like, I'm gonna entertain this guy, and he's like, you just give me your Emirates ID and all this stuff. Anyway,
but that's the fucking happy Emirates ID.
That's the thing. Like, it's so easy, but it's
he
also
he asked for my bank, and I was like, why would I tell you that? And he goes, you just need to tell me it. It's part of the process.
and then you know it's bullshit.
You know what he should have said? You know what he should have said? It's a security question.
Yeah, and then you'd have probably believed it, right? The easiest thing is every time I get someone ringing me up saying they're from the police or they're from the bank, I say, just as it happens, I'm just driving past the police station, I'm going to pull in now and then I'll deal with you guys in person. Phone is down, I'd call them back, block number. Exactly. If it's from the bank, I'm just passing Emirates NBD as we talk. I'm just going to pop in and talk to the cashier there. Is that okay? Hands up. I try and call them back, blocked. Yeah. That shits them up. Always, alright, we'll have to do some mad editing here. But if you're in Dubai, if you get a call from the police or the bank, just say you'll deal with it in person. Because 9 times out of 10, it's a scam.
Their office.
And that's because...
Alright, so next topic, what are we going to talk about?
Well, I've mentioned that topic 100 times since I've been doing this podcast. And Josh fucking hates me for it.
Which is what?
Discipline.
Discipline's fucking important. It's the most important aspect of being a broker.
This is why it's important to have a third person involved, because he says discipline if I want to go and do something, then I probably should go and do something, but discipline is telling yourself what you want and need, right?
Yeah. Discipline is knowing what you have to do and fucking doing it.
Exactly.
Like, discipline is doing something that you don't enjoy doing something that has to be done.
In order to achieve a goal.
In order to achieve a goal, yeah. You have to do the things in order. Like, this is all data farming, right? This job is purely data farming. How good you are at farming.
Keep your foot in the gas.
That's it.
Discipline, foot in the gas.
Like, I've had times where I've been lacking discipline because I've made a lot of money in a single month, right? And it's so fucking easy to wake up the next day and be comfortable and think, do you know what? I can have a week of relaxation now. But you shouldn't fucking be like that because you'll suffer for it in a few months. Like, you won't have the stock that you need to sell, and months after that, you will struggle.
It's very well enjoying a comfortable atmosphere once you've made the big deal. Enjoy it in your own time.
Yeah.
But when you're at work, you fucking like don't be like sitting back in the chair.
See, this is where the difficulty comes in when you're working from home, right? Because it's so fucking easy to be distracted. So you're working from home. The way I've got my setup, I've got my desk, I've got my monitor, I've got my PlayStation 5, and that's a fucking risk.
You've got your wee cat as well.
I've got 2 fucking cats now. It's just me and my 2 cats. I've got 2 cats. I'm getting rid of one of them though. If anyone wants to adopt a cat, Lily, she's free. Right? Fucking pain in my
She's
arse,
clearly
mate.
loved.
She's loved. She's adored, mate.
What was your first cat called?
Nyla.
No.
Okay, fucking scurf off this topic.
Keep
That's
the
how I
original.
wet right now.
But discipline's important.
Discipline's one of the
It's
most
important.
Yeah, no, I don't ever deny that discipline
I didn't
is
say you
important.
did, but you believe in a different way.
Guys, tell me about this, because I want to see your version of it.
Well, if you'd have listened to our past podcast, you'd already
Oh,
know.
fucking hell, guys, I thought there was one. I think I'm late to this.
No, right, so Dan, okay, I can't believe we're going to mention his name again. Dan came into a podcast after having listened to a Josh Fegan motivational talk. He was like, his
but I
first
already
thing,
knew about this in previous times, but I was just because.
and this
like,
is
it was
my
some
issue
impression
with
of mine.
all podcasts about Dubai, is they say, yeah man, you need to be disciplined, you need to be getting up at 4 a.m. and going
Fuck
to the
that.
gym.
You do not need to be doing that.
Exactly.
You do not need to
My
do that.
argument,
I didn't say that either.
No.
you basically did.
I didn't.
Yep, it's literally documented.
And now you're going to tell me to spend 10 minutes in this where you just said.
No, you're gonna.
That's
Dan
when
edits
it's
the
gonna come
video,
in.
so we're never going to
I'm
see it. And I don't know how to edit in an audio.
I
for
do
previous
this will
weeks.
take an hour.
But no, you
It's
said your
separate.
takeaway from Josh Vegan is that you need to be disciplined by going to the gym. My argument is that I don't get any enjoyment from going to the gym.
And-
I need
But
to be
I didn't
disciplined
say, I didn't say
in the
gym, I
sense.
said health.
But this is the
Oh,
thing.
we're not
okay,
going
okay.
into this again.
I
I'd
said
rather
one
be
thing-
happy than die with a six-pack. Yeah.
Yeah,
Listen,
just one thing I'll say about this, right? Regards to the gym. Now, the reason the gym can be fucking
Healthy.
important
Health.
is
Can
1,
be.
mental health, and 2, physical conditioning, and 3, doing things you don't want to fucking do because you know it's going to have a positive impact in your life. This is where it
That is almost
That's
quote,
interesting.
unquote,
because
yeah.
listen, answer
That's
yourself, guys, come on, answer yourselves this year. Who the fuck enjoys cold calling every single day? No
Nobody.
one fucking
Who
enjoys
enjoys
it.
running 20
But
minutes on the treadmill?
No one.
No one.
Who the fuck does the cold calls the best, right? Fuckers who wake up early in the morning and go to the gym.
No
right? Why?
bullshit.
Because they have
No
discipline.
way.
They've
Because when
already
you
done
get
the
to
hardest
No
part
way.
of the day.
No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I disagree.
I wouldn't say wake up at 4:30 and go to the gym. Fuck that. 4:30, I'm snoozing, mate. Right?
Yeah.
I would say going to the gym is important. I'm not saying wake up at 4:30 and do it, but it's about doing things you don't want to do because you know it has a positive impact
No,
in your life.
no. I disagree entirely. I think.
No, if you cover the hardest part of your day at the start,
Everything
or
else
even
seems
at the
easy.
end,
Everything else seems easy.
But that's fucking nonsense, right?
try it.
No, I don't want to try it. I have tried it before, and I dislike it thoroughly. My point is,
Mate, I'll put
cold
money
calling.
if you've never been in a gym in Dubai. I'll
I've
put
been
money
into
on it.
many gyms in Dubai, at least 2 on 2 different occasions. My point is, I hate cold calling, right?
Yeah, everyone does.
I hate going to the gym.
Do you cold call?
Yeah, I'm used to it. I'm not in that industry anymore. But I hate cold calling. I hate going to the gym. If I wake up in the morning, I think, right, what am I going to do today? I'm going to wake up and go to the gym. Oh, that's a bit miserable. I don't really want to do that. I'm then going to go and do some cold calling. Oh, I don't really want to do that. My day is going to be full of gym that I don't want to do and cold calling that I don't want to do. Okay, that's fine. Right, what am I going to do today? I'm going to go into the office. I'm going to work until 6 o'clock. I'm going to smash out the cold calls. And then, do you know what? I'm going to treat myself to a pint.
Yeah, okay.
Motivation. That is what motivates me. I'm not saying I'm an alcoholic. I know it sounds like it. I know this is somehow the second episode we're doing where I've spoken about being an alcoholic. I'm not, I promise. But I think you should be disciplined in the sense that this job is shit and this job is really hard. Why do you want your free time to be miserable doing things you don't want to do?
Okay, yeah, it goes into aspects of
I would
discipline being
much
different, right?
rather reward myself for having a shit day at work and enjoy that, and that be my motivation, that be my kick up the arse. I'm going to go out for a nice dinner tonight because I got 3 listings online.
Can I be honest with one thing that you're lacking, right? From what I've seen and heard here, is the motivation, right? Your vision for motivation is lacking. Like that pint at the end of your day should not be your motivation. What should be your motivation, right, is thinking in 4 or 5 months' time, I want something luxurious for myself and I want to be able to comfortably afford it. What I want is, I want a healthy amount stacked up in my bank account, right? For me, that's motivation. Fuck a pint at the end of the day.
What's the point of living if you're not going to enjoy your day? This is capitalism gone wrong, guys.
You can have your balance, yeah? And you can reward your things, right? I've just done 20 cold calls, I'm going to go and smoke. Yeah, I'm going to go back and do 20 calls, blah, blah, blah. At the end of this day, I'm going to have a pint. But it's not going to be humble if I've not achieved my goal. I know.
Yeah, no, that's
I know
what
when
I'm
I've
saying.
done. I know when I've done the sale at the end of the month, and I'm working towards, like Lorenzo says, say my 5-year goal. That I'm one step closer. That pint is going to taste just that little bit more sweet.
No, I completely agree. I'm not saying if you do 10 cold calls every day and then decide to go to a pub, you're doing it wrong. I'm saying if you do 100 cold calls, whether there's a successful one or there's not, 100 cold calls a day is relatively good in comparison to what we're being taught to do. So then you can go and do a pint. And if you continue, you need your motivation. But if you do 100 cold calls a day and get absolutely nothing from it, that's demoralising. Yeah. If I was then to go to a gym, or if started the day at the gym, I would have fucking killed myself 2 years ago. I genuinely would have. I'm not even joking. I know it's very funny, but I cannot stand going to the gym. Okay, I might have an extra hour of energy in the morning before crashing at 11 o'clock and then not doing anything anyway. I'm not saying go in, slack about and then go for a pint. I'm saying you get that listing, right, you've got a listing.
You go to bed at 8 o'clock, you have nothing to worry about.
8:30, yeah.
It's at 8.
But I'm saying there's discipline in different ways.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure.
If I was to get up and go to the gym every morning, okay, I would probably get into a routine after a month or after 2 months or something. I tell you what, I wouldn't be doing this. Yeah. I wouldn't be coming out for drinks with you guys. I would be dead within 3 months. I'm not even joking. I cannot stand it. And when work is miserable and your private life is miserable, what the fuck are you doing out there?
Think about this. It's scientifically proven that if you do exercise, you release endorphins. Right?
That's true.
Which is a happiness chemical.
That's bullshit though. If you eat chocolate, you induce endorphins.
Again, sure. If you have sex.
If you have sex. If you fall in love, you induce endorphins. It's nonsense. I get it. There's science behind it. But actually, there is no science behind it because the human body is too complex and we don't know how.
But when you're progressing in, say, your goals, right? If you did exercise every morning, you'd feel yourself progress in your physical health. Yeah. And if you're not progressing at work, but you're progressing in something else, you still don't feel as bad because you're not doing as good at work.
Right, I know this is a terrible example, but Zac Efron did a documentary maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years.
It's about that Baywatch, the film that he done.
I don't know, but it was something like he got so shredded for a film.
For Baywatch. Yeah.
And then he did a documentary where he just travelled the world and had a good time. And there is a scene where he eats pasta, and he's like, "This is the first time I've eaten pasta in like 5 or 6 years," and he cries because he's like, "What am I doing?"
Yeah.
This is Zac Efron, richer than we'll ever be, fitter than we'll ever be,
and smaller bodies than we'll ever have.
And he cried when he ate pasta. I'm not giving up pasta for fucking anyone.
Yeah, no, fuck
I would rather go bankrupt and have some pasta in my cupboard. I don't even like pasta. But my point is, you've got to enjoy life's little things, and that's where discipline is.
Now we're talking about Hollywood and its culture.
No, that's nothing to do with it. That is the fact that this man has built his life, his entire reputation on being shredded and going to the gym, and he broke down when he had a guilty pleasure. What sort of a life is that?
A very fucking rich one where he can afford to do whatever the fuck he wants.
That's simple, right?
Okay, guys, let me ask you guys a question, right?
I've never been this guy, so
yeah. Let me ask you guys a question. Why are you here? What's the purpose? Okay, what's the
genuinely,
purpose?
like,
we can finish on this.
Let's finish on this again.
And I think this will sum up how different mentality.
You can start, yeah.
I'm genuinely here for life experiences. I came over here for money. I've come here, I've had good months, I've made a bit of money, I've had bad months, I've been skinned. I now know for a fact I'm here for life experiences. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's as a result of being broke, or maybe it's a result of having a taste of the corporate, working for a big company, being part of the machine. But I genuinely am here for the life experiences now. Mm-hmm. I would rather be able to survive out here and have a good time than spend the next 3 years earning as much money as I can and then fucking up. I'm more here for the experiences now than I am for the money. But that has changed, granted, in the past 16 months, 18 months or so, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay. Genuinely, that's
life experiences is a good one. I would say that when I came over here, the reason why I came over here was because I got the job, and that job meant opportunity. The reason why I changed and the reason why I'm still here is because I see the potential in Dubai for me to make money, like a lot of money, and use that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That, in its simplest form, is what it is.
See, that baffles me because
although obviously I want to have a good time along the way, but my main goal here in Dubai is to use the system at play so that I can have a good life later on. I'm not going to be here forever. That's my goal.
What about the now?
Like, so I might be here forever. I might be based here forever. But I want to use the money that I earn here to make something of myself.
But what about the now? Why have a miserable time now?
Who says I'm having a miserable time?
You, many times in the past 2 episodes. No, I'm joking.
I mean, I do and I don't. Like, I have
there's up and downs. But I would say I'm earning less out here than I would be if I went back to the UK. At the minute, but I'm still here, not because maybe because of the potential of earning more, but also because it's just a better time. It's just life experiences. Like, I love my friends back in the UK.
But what life
more
experience
than
do you
anything.
have if you're broke? Except with the friends that you make along the way.
But that's the thing, the friends that you make along the way. I would never be friends with you if I hadn't moved out to Dubai. I'd never be friends with you, and you only live 20 fucking minutes away if we hadn't have moved out to Dubai. Again, my best friends that are still in the UK are the best people in the world. But
cheers,
I've spent the past two... No, you guys
just shut all over us.
Very good. You guys are... But in Dubai, the weather was fucking hot, the money was shit, we were grafting like dogs, I made the best friends, blah 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 blah.
He's like, I made them.
I don't know, the story's not the same.
No, the story's not the same. The story's not the same.
Very well, I got 2 pussycats, I got I'm having a really nice time, like, I got
because I don't want to fucking be boring. And I'm dead boring. I am the most boring person.
You're quite a flamboyant character, I think.
I think so too.
I don't think
he didn't agree until he said it.
I think it's alright.
How could I agree until he said it? How the fuck could I have agreed until he said it? He said it and I agree. That's the way agreeing works.
Alright.
He's just like negative about yourself.
You're uninvited for next week's episode.
If I agreed before he said, I'd be agreeing with you, you tick. About you being a fucking boring person.
That's nice to have a third person.
Listen, alright, I'm gonna give you guys my breakdown as to why I came here, right?
Okay.
So, back home, you know how celebrities always say, right? You are who you are surrounded by. Mm-hmm. I was not surrounded by good people. I've cut ties with everyone back home, everyone. The only people I speak to from back home are my family. I left all my friends behind. I've cut every single tie. Why? They were no good for my life. And you have to realize that, and you have to take a step forward where you surround yourself with people who are beneficial for your life.
Distance.
Right? Distance is the most important thing.
When you've ended up here.
I ended up here.
Sorry, mate.
I ended up here. No, I'm fucking happy.
Don't apologise.
I'm fucking happy, mate. I'll be honest with you, look. The main goal was money, right? But for me, it was never a 2 or 3 year plan. Like, this is my life. But this is me out here now.
Before you were on the plane out here?
Before I knew I was going to stay here.
Interesting.
Because I knew there was nothing apart from my family to go back home to. So the main goal is get rich here, bring my family out here so they can enjoy every day with me in Dubai. That's the goal.
Okay.
Like, for me, there's no interest in going back. Fucking cheers.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
That is my piece. That's why I'm here. Welcome to the 4th fucking episode.
Well, Lorenzo, thank you so much for coming on this week.
Yeah, I really do appreciate
Bit out of
it.
your busy schedule. I'm sure you got to go home to the cats.
I actually do. I've got to go home. I've got to feed the missus. I've got to feed the cats.
Feed the pony.
Aye.
Well,
I've got
Yeah,
audience here. Some of them don't have the same sense of humour.
some of them have never
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
it between us. Yeah,
Welcome
exactly.
to the British fucking podcast.
And
What are we going to do for all our Belgian fans?
Kevin De Bruyne.
he's going to go home and piss in his woman. Sorry, that was bad.
That was smooth. Do you want to do another take?
Yeah, go on, take another one.
Is that typically Belgian?
No, it's more of a German thing.
Okay, we'll edit that
I
whole thing
think-
out then.
You're going to piss off the German followers, mate.
Ah, nicht sehr gut! I think that's
Scheiße.
Scheiße. Anyway, after
Fick dich
cutting all that out.
auf, Mutter.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds interesting.
Cheers. Alright,
Like,
so
comment, subscribe.
you say it always too early. Like we've
Oh,
covered
sorry.
it. Let's recap
We're
quickly.
wrapping it up.
We've covered a lot of things, of course. Lorenzo's story, the potential, big money, the secrets to success, such as turnover in the buildings, finding the buildings which turn over the most, people are selling it, whatever. In office, don't take the foot off the gas. Discipline came into things as well. It is important.
It always
And we
comes
can't
into
lie. And
things.
we needed that third opinion. Good stock. When you're paying for your own listings, I'm sure that makes a massive fucking difference when it comes to segregating the bullshit. And we talked about that last week as well. Getting rid of the people that are wasting your time, gauging emotional intelligence, let's say it. We finished off with a bit of why we're in Dubai, and I think that went pretty well, to be honest. We've all got different
We've all got
scenarios,
different
but
reasons.
with similarities.
Yeah.
Similarities. So, on that note, Josh, if you want to kick us off with the
Like, comment, subscribe.
right, okay, and we'll see you next week for more. Cheers for listening.
Adios, amigos. You're not saying goodbye?
Thank you for listening to my story. I'll be back again next week with a bit more.
Thank you,
because
Lorenzo.
Brits kept speaking over me.
That's what it's like every time.
Every time, without fail. Thanks, guys. Catch you later.